We live in a world with an insatiable appetite for digital entertainment. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to bed, screens dominate our lives, offering endless streams of content and interaction. Games, in particular, offer us escape, challenges, and connections. They transport us to different worlds, allow us to become heroes, and let us connect with friends and strangers alike in ways that were unimaginable just a few decades ago. But alongside this legitimate world of gaming thrives a darker side, the realm of game cracking. This shadowy underworld operates in the fringes, often unseen by the average gamer. Cracking, at its core, is the process of modifying a game's code to bypass copy protection or other restrictions. It's a technical skill that requires deep knowledge of software and a willingness to break the rules. This often means getting the game to run without requiring a legitimate purchase or activation key. For many, it's seen as a harmless way to access content without paying. The allure is obvious. Why pay for something you can get for free? The temptation is strong, especially for those who may not have the means to purchase every game they want to play. The truth is, nothing is truly free. Every action has a consequence, and the hidden costs of game cracking are often far greater than the price of the game itself. The real cost of game cracking is vast and often hidden from the user. It's not just about lost revenue for developers, it's about the ripple effects that impact the entire gaming ecosystem. It impacts game developers, stifles innovation, and exposes users to serious security risks. Developers lose the financial incentive to create new and exciting games, leading to a stagnation in creativity and innovation. This essay aims to shed light on the darker side of game cracking, exploring its methods, its consequences, and the ethical implications that impact us all. By understanding these aspects, we can better appreciate the value of legitimate game purchases. It's easy to be seduced by the promise of free games. The excitement of accessing a new game without spending a dime can be overwhelming. But just like a cracked mirror, the reflection is distorted. What seems like a simple, victimless act is actually fraught with hidden dangers and ethical dilemmas. What appears to be a victimless crime is actually a complex issue with far-reaching consequences. It affects not just the developers but the entire gaming community, including the players themselves. By understanding the true cost of game cracking, we can make informed choices that support the creators we admire and the industry we love. Every purchase is a vote of confidence in the developer's hard work and creativity. Because behind every game, behind every line of code and every pixel, there's a team of passionate individuals who deserve to be recognized and rewarded for their hard work. Their dedication and creativity bring joy to millions, and they deserve our support. Cracking a game is not as simple as clicking a button. It's a complex process that requires a blend of technical prowess and specialized tools. It requires technical knowledge, specialized tools, and a deep understanding of software and code. The journey into the world of game cracking begins with a suite of sophisticated programs. Crackers often work with a suite of programs designed to dissect, analyze, and modify a game's inner workings. These tools are the bread and butter of their trade, each serving a unique purpose in the cracking process. One essential tool is the disassembler. This tool is crucial for breaking down the game's compiled code. As its name suggests, it takes the game's compiled code, which is unreadable to humans, and translates it into a format that can be understood and analyzed. This translation is the first step in understanding the game's architecture. This allows crackers to identify the sections of code responsible for copy protection mechanisms. By pinpointing these sections, they can begin to understand how the game enforces its security. Next comes the debugger. This tool acts like a microscope, allowing crackers to step through the game's code line by line as it executes. It's a meticulous process that requires patience and precision. They can observe how the code behaves, identify where checks for activation keys occur, and pinpoint vulnerabilities. This step is crucial for understanding the game's security measures and finding ways to bypass them. Finally, crackers often employ hex editors. These tools allow them to directly manipulate the game's binary code at the most fundamental level. It's like editing the DNA of the software. By changing specific bytes, they can alter the game's logic, effectively disabling copy protection routines, or even modifying in-game elements. This level of control is what makes hex editors so powerful. By altering the game's logic, crackers can remove restrictions, unlock features, or even change the game's behavior entirely. This is the final step in the cracking process, where the game is transformed to bypass its original protections. These tools, while powerful, are not inherently malicious. They are designed for legitimate purposes and are used by programmers and security researchers worldwide. They're used by legitimate programmers and security researchers for software development and vulnerability analysis. In the right hands, these tools contribute to the advancement of technology and the improvement of software security. However, in the hands of someone seeking to circumvent copy protection, they become instruments of exploitation. The same tools that can build and protect can also be used to break and exploit, depending on the intent of the user. The process of cracking a game can vary significantly depending on its complexity and the type of protection employed by the developers. However, a common approach involves a series of methodical steps that exploit vulnerabilities in the game's code. Step 1. Bypassing the initial barrier. The first hurdle is often the game's initial setup or launcher, which is designed to prevent unauthorized access. This might involve checking for a valid disk in the drive or requiring authentication through an online service, which ensures that only legitimate users can proceed. Crackers meticulously analyze the code responsible for these checks and modify it to bypass the requirement altogether, allowing the game to launch without proper authentication. Step 2. Neutralizing copy protection. Games often employ more robust copy protection mechanisms, such as serial key verification or online activation, to further secure their content. Crackers use sophisticated debuggers to identify the specific lines of code where these checks occur, pinpointing the exact locations that need to be altered. They then modify the code to either accept any key or bypass the verification process entirely, effectively neutralizing the game's defenses. Step 3. Patching and packaging. Once the copy protection is neutralized, crackers create a patch or a modified version of the game's executable file, ensuring that the game can be played without any restrictions. This patched version is then distributed online, often through torrent sites or file-sharing networks, making it accessible to a wide audience. Step 4. The user's role. Unsuspecting users download the cracked game, often enticed by the allure of getting it for free, without considering the potential risks involved. They unknowingly install and run the modified executable, bypassing the legitimate purchase and activation process, which can lead to various security vulnerabilities on their systems. It's important to note that this is a simplified representation of a complex process which involves a deep understanding of software engineering and reverse engineering techniques. Game developers are constantly evolving their protection methods, implementing new technologies and strategies to safeguard their products. And crackers are continually finding new ways to circumvent them, leading to an ongoing battle between the two sides. This ongoing cat-and-mouse game fuels the cycle of cracking and emphasizes the need for robust security measures, as well as the importance of supporting developers by purchasing legitimate copies of games. Section 4. The high cost of free. The impact on game developers. The allure of free games comes at a steep price, one that is often borne by the very people who create them, game developers. When someone downloads a cracked game, they aren't just getting it for free, they're denying the developers the revenue they deserve for their hard work. Imagine spending years of your life pouring your heart and soul into a project. You assemble a team, invest countless hours, and pour your creativity into every aspect of the game. Now imagine that instead of being rewarded for your efforts, your work is distributed for free, denying you the financial resources to continue doing what you love. This is the harsh reality faced by game developers in the age of rampant piracy. The lost revenue directly impacts their ability to fund future projects, hire talented individuals, and continue pushing the boundaries of interactive entertainment. Moreover, the time and resources spent combating piracy could be better spent on improving existing games, developing new content, or exploring innovative gameplay mechanics. Piracy creates a vicious cycle that stifles creativity and innovation within the gaming industry. Section 5. Beyond the law, the ethical dilemma of game cracking. While the legal ramifications of game cracking are significant, the ethical implications run even deeper. At its core, cracking is a form of theft, the unauthorized copying and distribution of someone else's intellectual property. Imagine spending months or even years writing a book, composing a song, or painting a masterpiece. Now imagine someone making copies of your creation and distributing them for free, without your consent or compensation. This is precisely what happens when a game is cracked. The ethical dilemma lies in the fact that cracking often stems from a sense of entitlement, rather than a genuine need. Many who download cracked games can afford to purchase them legitimately, but choose not to, viewing it as a victimless crime. However, this mindset ignores the very real people behind the games, the developers, artists, musicians, writers, and countless others who pour their passion and talent into creating these experiences. When we condone cracking, we're essentially saying that their hard work and creativity have no value,